Hi everyone, I'm Mary from Joyful and Mary Quilting, and today I want to share with you one of my favorite fun quilting helps that may or may not be new to you. It's called the Quilt Builder Card Deck Set. There's boxes 1, 2, and 3, along with a soon-to-be released Christmas deck. I've got it on order. I don't have it yet. Now, I'm not affiliated with the company that makes these, but I have found them to be such a fun and useful resource. I just had to spread the word. First of all, each of these card decks is like a little treasure chest for quilters. There are 40 blocks per box, and each block is featured on the front of a card with the cutting information neatly laid out on the back. Now, I can't show you the individual cards because they're all protected by copyright, but I can tell you they are packed, filled with valuable information. Not only do you get the cutting details for each block on its own card, but each deck also includes yardage tables for various shapes and quilting units, tips for unit construction, and even calculations for the backing and the batting and the binding. There is a lot packed into this little box, let me tell you. Whether you're making a sampler quilt, maybe a 2-block quilt, or maybe you're just looking for block inspiration to make a single block quilt, the possibilities of these boxes of cards are practically unlimited. One of the great things about these decks is how they help us become more familiar with traditional quilt blocks and their construction. They prompted me to take a closer look at the block and study its background. I love history, I love the history of quilting, and I love the history of quilt blocks. How they came to be, what their names mean, the types of quilts that were made with them, why they made them then, and why we make them now. Now, as quilters, it is so important that we understand the roots of our craft, and these traditional blocks are a big part of those roots. Each block carries a bit of history, and knowing how to create and modify them is like carrying out a legacy. So we have been incorporating a sampler block exploration in each of our Joyful and Mary Community Quilt Guild meetings, and we are creating a block library as a resource for our guild members. So this is kind of a personal way for you to create your own block library. Now, if you take a look at the blocks that I have hanging on the wall, in our guild block library, we actually have training videos on how to create some very basic quilt blocks, and we're building on that. For example, the broken dishes block right here, our training video teaches us how to make half square triangles. In the new album block over here, we actually foundation piece or learn how to foundation piece those centers so that our block is accurate. We have a really accurate block with those points that are showing. In the jewel box training video, we already learned how to make those half square triangles in the broken dishes block. So we then are learning how to add 4-patch units to the block. Now, the instructions for each one of those parts of the block are always included in every training video. Just in case you didn't look at the broken dishes one yet, you actually still get that half square triangle instruction in the jewel box block. Now, in the Big Dipper block, which is right here, we actually have, this is an example of what we do. We have a PDF that gives you all the instructions on how to make that particular block. And in that, we learned how to make hourglass units. This is what these units are. They're hourglass units. So that's what we learned. We also learned there's a page in the handout that talks about the history of the block. I'm going to give you a little bit of info on that right now. Did you know that that Big Dipper block likely originated, first of all, in the 19th century? You probably knew that because most quilt blocks came from those, the traditional blocks. But at that time, they were naming blocks after everyday objects or celestial bodies or symbols that were particularly familiar to those of that area. The Big Dipper, prominent constellation, would have been familiar, and it would have been a meaningful symbol. It was, and still is, often used in sampler quilts, but there are also many quilts where the entire quilt is made up of the Big Dipper block, or of the pinwheel block, or any of the blocks that we have. Now, in the Big Dipper block, the block itself is a type of star block. And using the half square triangles positioned as they are into the hourglass, it creates that dipper shape, so the Big Dipper. Now, there is a popular, but historically debated belief that certain quilt blocks, including the Big Dipper, were used as part of a secret code in the Underground Railroad. According to this belief, quilts with specific patterns were hung outside of houses to signal safe houses or to convey messages to escaping enslaved people. And the Big Dipper, supposedly, was known for its use in celestial navigation, supposedly to direct runaways to the North Star. However, be careful. Historians have questioned the accuracy of this narrative. Most experts nowadays agree that while the story is really compelling, there is no solid historical evidence to support the idea that quilt blocks were used this way. The myth, sad to say, likely originated in the late 20th century, and it kind of has been perpetuated by folklore and popular culture. That happens. That happens with all sorts of stories that we have that aren't written down. It really is an inspiring tale, and if you study it and read about it, and I have done a lot of studying and reading, it sounds good. But historians caution against accepting it as total fact without more substantial evidence. In other words, we just don't know. We're not saying that it didn't occur, but we just don't know. What's important to me historically is that we want to educate ourselves about all the historical aspects of a particular block, even the myths. As a Guild member, you will have access to this entire block library. So what is the Joyful and Merry Community Quilt Guild, you may ask? Well, I'm here to tell you this is all about learning, sharing, chatting, and growing together as quilters no matter what your experience level is. And it's all done virtually. It's a quilt guild like no other. We meet twice a month, and at each meeting, we introduce a new block, complete with its history, its step-by-step video, and written instructions on how to make it. Our block library is growing. It's filled with traditional and not so traditional quilt blocks, and it's an excellent resource for any quilter. But that's just a small part of the Joyful and Merry Quilting Guild. I am thrilled to announce that we're reopening registration for the Joyful and Merry Community Quilt Guild on August 28th. We'd love to have you be a part of it. The Joyful and Merry Community Quilt Guild has some great perks. Our guild is more than just a place to learn new techniques. It's a community. It's where friendships are formed, creativity is nurtured, and the art of quilting is celebrated. So if you've ever wanted to deepen your understanding of quilting or practice new techniques or connect with like-minded people like yourself, then this is the place for you. We have twice monthly guild meetings. We have chat sessions. We have sew-alongs. We have trainings where we're always trying to learn something new. That's all part of it. We truly believe that quilting is more than just cutting fabric and sewing seams together. It's a whole body experience that offers therapeutic benefits, camaraderie, and a way to express yourself artistically. If this sounds like something that you'd love to be a part of, don't miss our Zoom meeting where we'll discuss all of the perks and pluses of the guild and how you can join this remarkable group of quilters. We would love to have you as part of our group. Now, keep in mind that space is limited, and we do have membership opening on August 28th, but once we are filled, then membership will close. But if you're interested in learning more, head over to joyfulandmerryquilting.com/guild waiting list and sign up to receive the link to the Wednesday, August 28th at 7 p.m. Central Time Zoom meeting. The link is in the description. Remember, our vision is to create a warm and inclusive virtual space where every member feels valued and supported. We believe in fostering a positive community, free of judgment, where quilters of all levels can come together to learn, to share, and to grow. And we recite this vision at every one of our meetings. So back to the card decks. Check out these Quilt Builder card decks, these 3 boxes. They are reasonably priced, and they are a great addition to your sewing library. And don't forget to sign up for the Guild Intro Zoom meeting if you're interested. joyfulandmerryquilting.com/guild waiting list. I'm always trying to be joyful, but I will always be merry. Thank you so much for joining me.